Hi, I'm back. The reason I'm back is because I was in a sort of summer hibernation, which is when it's too hot in my room to record anything without me sweating profusely, and it's also too hot for me to want to do anything. So I waited until the weather got a little bit chillier down here in the southern hemisphere and decided to make a new video. Welcome back to my channel. First off, I want to say that I have a new backdrop here, which I hate because it's so plain. I used to have my two phantom book covers by my side, but now I have nothing, so I kind of hate it. I thought that today I could do a sort of read through slash context giving slash opinion giving moment for chapter 11 of The Phantom of the Opera, which is called Forget the Name of the Man with the Voice. Now, why this chapter, you might say? Because it's so, it's so good. It's so good. I think it's such a great chapter if you really want to know more about Raoul and Christine's relationship and especially their dynamic. And I think it's just a really angsty, really cool chapter that always makes me smile, puts a smile on my face every day. Okay, this is chapter 11. So for context, in the previous chapter, the masked ball happened. Christine and Raoul had a fight, which resulted in him insulting her and him finding out that she looks like shit, but still getting more confused because we also have the mirror scene, which happens inside of Christine's dressing room. And it's when Raoul is hiding inside her room, and he sees Christine like walk through the mirror somehow, and he doesn't understand why. And he also heard her saying, "Poor Eric," when she thought she was alone. So, what's happening here? He's very fucking confused. And so, this is what happens. The day after Christine vanished before Raoul's very eyes in a sort of blinding flash, which made him doubt the evidence of his senses, he called on Madame Valerius to see if there was any news. He walked into a charming domestic scene. Side note here, if you don't know who Madame Valerius is, she is Christine's benefactress slash adopted mother. So yeah, in case you don't know. The charming domestic scene is Madame Valerius lying on her bed, and I don't know what she's doing. Oh, knitting. She's knitting, and Christine's right beside her. She's there, like normally, doing her lace work. And Raoul's very stunned by this. Ah, Monsieur de Chagny. Don't you recognize her, Christine? Her friendly spirit has let her come back to us. Dear Mamma, I thought we'd agreed never to speak of him again. You know as well as I do that there is no angel of music. But dear child, he has been giving you singing lessons for the last 3 months. Mamma, I promised I'd tell you about it someday. I hope I shall, but until then you said you wouldn't mention the subject or ask me any more questions. Only if you promise not to go away again. But Christine, you haven't promised me that, have you? Not now, dear. It's not a subject that could be of the remotest interest to Monsieur de Chagny. Listen to this. There you're wrong, madame. Oh no, mademoiselle, said Raoul in a voice which he hoped was firm and bold, but trembled. Anything that concerns you interests me to a degree which perhaps you will understand one day. That's crazy. Isn't that so crazy? Given what happened between us yesterday, what you said to me, what I read between the lines, I did not expect to see you back so soon. No one would be more delighted at your return than I if you weren't so set on keeping a secret which could well have fatal consequences for you. Okay, so this is Raoul saying, I mean, I'm glad you're here, but why are you keeping this huge thing from me? Now, he's saying it in front of Madame Valerius. So Madame Valerius is, of course, going to get interested in whatever's happening. I have been your friend for too long not to be worried, as is Madame Valerius, about a highly fraught situation which will go on being dangerous until we get to the bottom of it, Christine, for you will certainly end up by being its victim. And Madame Valerius goes, what does that mean? Is Christine in danger? Indeed she is, said Raoul boldly, ignoring the signs which Christine made to him. That's beautiful. That's delicious. I love that. So Christine's like, shut the fuck up. Christine's like, shut up. Don't upset my mom. Dear Lord, you must tell me everything. Christine, why did you say everything was all right? What sort of danger, monsieur? A fraud, a trickster, is taking advantage of Christine's good nature. Then the angel of music is an impostor? She told you herself that there is no angel of music. Then for heaven's sake, what's the matter? Oh, you will be the death of me. So he's basically upsetting Madame Valerius a lot. Christine tries to calm her and she's like, don't listen to him, Mom. He's fucking lying, okay? And then her mom tells her, promise me you'll never leave me again. And Christine doesn't reply. And Raoul says, you must promise, Christine. It's the only way to reassure your mother and me. And on our side, we swear we'll never ask about your past. But you must give your word that from now on you will stay with us so that we can keep you safe from harm. This is so funny because he's just barging in. He's meddling in her private affairs, and at the same time, I mean, he does have a right to do so. He's been friends with her a long time. He knows her, like it or not, he does know her or thinks he knows her. And at the same time, that's kind of shitty of him to just assume, but whatever. She's being really secretive and he knows she's in danger somehow. But at the same time, he is really meddling in her private business. They're nothing. They're not engaged. They're not married. So socially, she has nothing to explain to him if she doesn't want to. So he says this, and then we get some incredible piece of feminist literature from Gaston Leroux himself, feminist king. Christine goes, I don't want you to swear any such thing, nor will I promise to do what you ask. And when I read this for the first time, I was like, girl, I am a free agent, sir. You have no right to control my actions, and I would be glad if you would not try to do so in future. Oh, there's an annotation that says, Christine's firm stance in defense of her independence is an example of Leroux's clear feminist sympathies. What did I just say? Exactly. As to what I have been doing these last 2 weeks, there is only one man who has any right to ask me to account for myself. My husband. But I have no husband, and I have no intention of marrying, ever. She had spoken forcefully. She held out her hand to Raoul, as if the gesture would make her words more solemn. But Raoul blanched, not simply as a result of what he'd heard, but because on Christine's finger he saw a gold ring. In this fucking scene, he goes, you have no husband, but you're wearing a wedding ring. You better stop! Yeah. He reached for her hand, but Christine withdrew it quickly. It was a gift, she said, blushing again as she tried unsuccessfully to hide her discomfiture. Christine, since you don't have a husband, that ring can only have been given to you by someone who hopes you will become his wife. Why do you go on lying to us? Why do you keep torturing me? That ring is a promise, and that promise has been accepted. It's so good. It's so good. It's so angsty. It's such like those fights that you see in period dramas that makes you clutch your pearls? Yeah, this is what's happening here. Then he keeps asking questions, and Christine is fucking fuming. She's like, Monsieur de Chagny, don't you think this inquisition has gone on long enough? Raoul, thoroughly shaken, was afraid to give her an opportunity to say anything which would mean a clean break. This is so important too because he is desperate, really. That's the truth. He's desperate. He loves her and he wants to keep her safe. But at the same time, it's like eating away at him. She's so restrictive with everything she says or reveals that it's really driving him crazy. And I kind of love seeing his slow descent into madness through the book. And then he goes, I apologize for speaking to you like that, mademoiselle. I think you know that if I meddle in matters which doubtless do not concern me, I only mean well. But let me tell you what I saw, and I've seen more than you imagine, Christine, or at least what I think I saw. To tell the truth, it was enough to make anyone doubt the evidence of his own senses. And I love this because she's so pissed off, and she goes, and what did you see, sir? Or think you saw? She's like, get out of my face, okay? And I love this because it really makes you question, why is she so defensive? Because if she was truly just trying to get him away to keep him safe, I feel like she's doing a bit too much. I feel like she's genuinely upset with him now because of how annoying he is. And then he says, I saw you react with ecstasy to the sound of the voice, Christine. The voice which came out of the wall, or from the dressing room next to yours, or some adjoining chamber. Yes, ecstasy. And that is what makes me so afraid for you. Someone has cast a highly dangerous spell on you, and yet you are perfectly aware that you have been tricked, for you just said that there is no angel of music. If you believe that, why did you go to him again? Why did you stand looking radiant as if you were hearing choirs of angels? That voice is very dangerous, Christine, because when I heard it, I was so spellbound that you suddenly vanished before my very eyes, leaving me with no idea where you'd gone. Okay. He's asking real questions, though. Why was she beaming with joy when she heard Eric in her dressing room? She had already met him. She already knew that he was a horrible man. And yet she hears his voice and it all goes away. Oh, it's amazing. It's so complicated. This is why I love this book. Anyway, then Raoul keeps asking, you must tell Madame Valerius and... It's so funny. Madame Valerius just there like, oh my god, what's happening here? Did I miss something? You must tell me and Madame Valerius whose voice it is. Then we will be able to save you from yourself. Okay. Come, Christine, what is the man's name? The man with the gall to put a gold ring on your finger. That, Monsieur de Chagny, she said icily, is something you will never know. And I love this shit. This says, thereupon he heard the voice of Madame Valerius, who, seeing the hostility with which her words spoke to the Viscount, now took Christine's side. And if she does love this man, Monsieur, that is none of your business either. I love it because she was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I'm gonna stay on my daughter's side, okay? Exactly. Oh, madame, Raoul went on meekly, unable to hold back the tears. Also, again, this is a very clean line that says what Raoul is. He's a crybaby, that's the truth. At his core, he's very sensitive and he's very upset and he just needs a nap, okay? I believe Christine really does love him. Everything points to it. But that's not my main concern. What I'm not so sure of is whether the man Christine loves is worthy of her. You must let me be the judge of that, sir, said Christine, and she blasted Raoul with a look of withering anger. Oh, it's so good. Okay, I'm sorry. I love this fucking chapter so much because it's so angsty. It's so... They're fighting, and they both have good reasons to be upset. I think Christine more than anything, but whatever. And Raoul is just... I feel like he's shaking his head. He's like, when a man intent on seducing a young woman stoops to such fanciful romantic methods, the man must be a scoundrel and the girl a ninny. Is that it? Oh my god. If you don't know what scoundrel means, let's go look for the definitions here. Scoundrel is a dishonest or unscrupulous person, and a ninny is basically a foolish and weak person. So she's like, you're saying that I'm stupid. And he's like, Christine, Raoul, how can you damn out of hand a man you've never met, who nobody knows, and about whom you know nothing? You're wrong, Christine, wrong. At least I know his name, which you would prefer to keep from me. Your angel of music, mademoiselle, is called Eric. This time, Christine was unable to conceal her feelings. She turned whiter than an altar cloth and stammered, Who told you?
I'm adopted.
What? Oh my God! Who told you?
You did. What do you mean? You were feeling sorry for him last night after the masked ball. Do you remember going back to your dressing room? You said, poor Eric. Well, not far away there was a Pole Raoul who heard you. And then she's still trying to keep her stance. She's like, that makes the second time you've been known to eavesdrop outside doors, Monsieur de Chagny. But I wasn't outside the door. I was in your dressing room, in the alcove. The alcove is like a small room inside of the dressing room. You fool, groaned Christine, who reacted with all the signs of utter terror. Do you want to get yourself killed? Perhaps. Raoul said the word with so much love and such despair that Christine could not stifle a sob. Wow. They're fighting back and forth, back and forth. She's like, do you want to get yourself killed? And he's like, yeah, maybe. Maybe. You know, maybe I do want to die because you're not telling me the truth. And because I want to be with you and I love you. You know, he's just going through a lot. No more than Christine, though, but you know. She took both his hands and looked at him with all the unadulterated tenderness that she was capable of. Raoul, you must forget the man's voice and erase all trace of his name from your memory, and never again try to solve the mystery of the man's voice. So she's like, you must promise that you won't ask anymore and that you won't go inside my dressing room anymore. Swear you'll never enter my dressing room unless I ask you. And he says, do you promise to invite me from time to time, Christine? And she says, I promise. And then they agree that they would get together the next day. He kissed her hand and left, cursing Eric and vowing that he would be patient. I think this is such an amazing chapter because it's so angsty. You have this tension-filled fight in front of Madame Valerius is there too, but you know, it's really about the two lovers and how he's being very hostile towards her, but because he loves her so much, right? And he's really trying to be possessive, but he knows that he can only be that if she allows him to be that. And this is why I love this fight so much, because it really lays a ground for what they actually are like. She's trying to protect him from a terrible secret, and at the same time she's trying to keep him away because he is being annoying, but he can't keep away because he loves her so much, and she does care for him, and she does love him, but she can't reveal her feelings completely because of Eric. And there's so much here. And this is why I love this chapter so much. I love this chapter. I really do. The next one is Above the Traps, which is also a fun one. That one's definitely, I don't know if top 5 chapters, but definitely top 5 scenes. It's really just a really perfect period drama lovers quarrel. I have so much to say about the whole book, and I feel like it's time that I read it again. It's that time of the year where I'm like, I haven't read it in 5 months, maybe I should read it again. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later. Bye.